What's up, everybody, and welcome back to How to Be a Boss. I am Robert Carden Jr.
I'm Chrissy Brenton.
And I'm Seth Sheely.
So listen, before we get into today's episode, we just want to let you guys know about something new that we're doing over here at How to Be a Boss. It's podcast at aat.team. Feel free to email us. We want to hear from you guys, whether it be your business questions, life advice you may need, or you just want to let us know what you think about the show. We want to hear from you guys, and we are going to respond to you on future episodes. So again, it's podcast at aat.team. We want to hear from you guys. And today we're going to be talking about how to make money marketing. Now, there is a quote that we have, and I'm interested in Chrissy's thoughts about it. It's from Milan Kundera, and it says, business has only two functions, marketing and innovation. What's your thought on that?
Okay. Today we are talking about marketing, and marketing is extremely important, but I disagree with Milan because you can market all day long and you can get in front of people, but until you know how to get them closed and flow in money to you, that is useless. So I feel like business does not only have two functions of marketing and innovation. You can have a great product and you can put it in front of a bunch of people, but until you can get them to actually agree to use it and pay for it, you will go out of business. So I'm so sorry, Milan, but you are incorrect.
Well, what would you say is like the first thing that any business owner or entrepreneur needs to know when it comes to marketing their business or marketing like themselves?
The purpose of marketing is to get a deal closed. I think that the two kind of go hand in hand. So you have to be everywhere. So you have to be recognized by potential customers. I think the first step in marketing would be to recognize who your customers are, figure out what it's going to take to get them to say yes and exchange your product or service for their money, and then kind of work backwards. Where are those people at? What are they doing? How can you get in front of them creatively in multiple places so that they recognize you? Because when people recognize you, they trust you and will do business with you.
That's true. I actually saw a review. I don't remember what the business was for, but someone left a review and said that the main reason that they chose that business is because they had been around for a long time. Not necessarily for the quality of the service, which I hope was good, but it's a business that they trusted because it had been around for a while.
Yeah.
But and although it changes from business to business, I understand that a business strategy is important. So with that being said, what do you believe has been like the most effective marketing strategy what is the marketing strategy here at AAT, and what has been like the most effective?
Okay, most effective. I measure most effective by how much money does it generate for our company. So the most effective thing that we have done is the phone. When we first started off a long, long time ago, before the social media culture that we have today, making those calls to customers to have that personal interaction, that was literally how we got going. That and email. I feel like the phone means something a little different at this point. So whereas when I say the phone, I don't just mean phone calls. Like, you can do everything from your cell phone, and knowing how to utilize that cell phone effectively is the best way to market yourself. Being able to send out emails, text messages, get on social media, make the phone call. All of those are ways to use the phone to your advantage, but figuring out how to actually operate your phone effectively to get in front of the customers is definitely number one for us.
And Seth, I'll pose that same question to you because you're still in like the starting phases of your business and your career in entrepreneurship. So what would you say has been like the most effective marketing strategy for you?
Like he said, I'm just starting. So I guess for me, I guess you could call this marketing. I've run ads on Facebook and Instagram before, and like, at first I would do like all around the South, like Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama. and it would like hit those people, and that's potential clientele or people that actually booked. And I would say that's where I get a lot of my bookings, is when I run ads, or like, go on a Facebook group and like share the wedding video to, let's say a group called North Carolina Wedding something something something. I've gotten bookings from doing that too. So I just throwing my name out there. That's been my most effective way. But I'm just starting too, so.
Are you currently running a Facebook ad?
Not right now.
Why?
It's a good question.
Uh-huh.
I ran one the other day. I did like a budget of like $130 for just one day. Usually I would do like $150 for like over 5 days. That's like $25 a day. So it doesn't hit as many people in one day. Whereas I do like $130 for one day. There's more people in that one day than like the $25 per day, right? That's a good question though. I need to be more consistent about it.
So this is what I feel like a lot of business owners, especially starting off, I think a lot of people get twisted. They look at marketing as an expense and not an investment. So if you know, like you said to begin with, when I run Facebook ads, I get bookings. So if you know that the result of spending money on the Facebook ad is going to be a booking, why would you stop running the Facebook ad?
So I'm still in that little gray area where, since I've raised my prices, the clientele is like, picking itself for me. I don't want to say too much, but
false belief. Okay. Let's fix you.
I feel like I'm not saying too much. So I ran an ad the other day.
Let's fix them.
Someone messaged me, asked for my prices, sent them my prices. A couple days go by. I don't even think they read it, but didn't respond. So I was like, I'm gonna do some follow up. That I've been learning about follow up since I've been working here.
Yeah,
so
you have.
I'm gonna do some follow up. I sent them a message like, good afternoon. I know life can get a little busy. I just wanted to follow up and see if you were still interested. They were like, no, it's too expensive. I was like, oh, okay. I understand. Thank you. Have a nice day. So I see it as an investment, but I'm still in that gray area since I've raised my prices that the clientele is picking and choosing.
Your target audience is off. You're just advertising to everybody. You don't need to advertise to everybody.
I changed it from marketing all around the South to just Georgia itself, right? Get my name out in Georgia and then progress from there.
Do you need everybody in Georgia to know who you are? Or do you need everybody in Georgia who needs photography, who can afford your prices, to know who you are?
So then I'm gonna read you my...
Who's your target audience?
I'm gonna read it up to you.
Okay.
So where's it at? Here it is. Okay, audience. Georgia, women ages 22 to 40 that like wedding cake, weddings, brides, wedding reception, wedding planning, say yes to the dress, bridesmaid, wedding videography, wedding photography, engagement, wedding invitations, wedding dress, weddings, a bunch of wedding stuff.
Okay.
So I have it down to like...
what else do those people like? Because that's what you got to think about when you're marketing, especially on social media. You don't, like, if you're marketing to that particular audience, you're going to get everybody that ranges from high-end $50,000 wedding to $500 budget overall getting married at the courthouse. Yeah. You know what I mean? So then, like, you're going to have a lot of people that inquire about your service wanting those prices that can't even afford it. So what else? Where else are those people at? Like, you're looking for people who like luxury hotels, who like to travel, who like to do other things. So you have to think about what your overall customer is doing in life, period, and then target them.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
And then I didn't really touch on it when I was answering your question, but word of mouth has also been another I'd say it's been a big marketing place for me because, like, I've had people book off of just, like, whose videos I've done before. I did a wedding video for this girl I went to high school with a couple years ago. Did her wedding video. I feel like I worded that sentence so weird. Anyways, I did her wedding video a couple years ago. And then people booked me based off of that. Like, oh, I like her video. I want to book you. I was talking to another videographer about this. You know, the clients that you work with, the people around them are usually like-minded. So those same like the same type of people will book you.
Yes.
So if I have someone back when I was charging $500 for a wedding video, people that are willing to pay $500, those are going to be the people that are booking me. Now the minimum price is $1,500. Those same people are going to book me. Like, if they're around, you know, like-minded people stay around the same flock of people.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes, I think also you should have a wide variety of packages available. So if you feel like at this point your struggle is because you keep repeating it, your price is being raised, it kind of minimizes who you can work with. I think that you should have a lesser package with you having to put less effort into it. And then also a higher package. So you want to be able to kind of appease everybody that you're marketing to, so that if they do only want to spend $750, they're getting half the service that they would at $1,500. So like for me personally, when I make a decision as to whether to give somebody money or not, I need whatever that cost is to make sense for what I'm getting in return. So if I'm able to look at, okay, if I only want to spend $750, this is the, you know, result versus me spending that $1,500 to get twice as much or 3 times as much. I'm gonna make sense of that $1,500 purchase, even though that is a big investment and even though it is a lot of money. And if we're just looking at the price, then that kind of freaks me out. But then when I can compare it to the value, then I'm gonna go with the more expensive option because I'm getting more. So like, you want your customers, by the time they make it to you, you want them to be completely sold to where they're just like, yo, Seth, saw your ad, want to book you. So your prices should be listed somewhere on your website. You should be super transparent. That way you don't have to deal with all that back and forth that comes from those social media ads. They're already educated by the time they make it.
And I had a thought about something. I'm curious about your thought on it as well. Seth, what did you say the age range was for your ad?
Like 22 to 40. I'm glad you just mentioned that, because while I was saying it, I feel like people are getting married younger now, right? Well, not too young. You get what I'm saying though. Like, I did a wedding last year. They were younger than me. I was 22. They were like maybe 19, something like that. It's like, wow. Like,
well, my thought was on expanding your age range to a little bit more of the older crowd, because in my mind I'm thinking that, you know, sometimes it's the bride that, you know, books a photographer and stuff like that, and then sometimes it may be like the mother-in-law or the mother of the bride that's like, hey, my daughter's looking for somebody, I told her about you. Do you think that like that would open up his clientele more?
I think that you should actually have several different audiences. I don't think that you should be marketing to one audience. I think that you should have what you've got going on, add a little bit of stuff to it. You should be going for an upper end range, because then you're going to not only be hitting those people that you just mentioned, but you should be able to run an ad for, you know, 30 to 50-year-old women with families who are interested in, you know, all these different things, so that you can do just like an afternoon of family pictures. Because like, what do you charge for that?
I think like $150 for an hour.
Okay.
Just like for a
so
photo
like,
shoot. Would
you rather make $150 in an hour 3 times in an afternoon and you get to go hang out afterwards, or would you rather commit your whole entire weekend to a wedding?
And on top of that, older women get married too.
Yeah, that's true.
You said what?
Older women get married too. Or renew their vows.
I like what you did just then.
Mhm.
I think where I'm at on it is like one, the pay with weddings, I love it. Plus the payoff itself, like the reaction that the families give.
Okay.
Like I like the payoff and the pay a little bit more than like I guess that is $150 in an hour, but like I'm making anywhere from like $1,500 to $2,500 for like a whole day. That's a good.
Why can't you do both?
I could.
So I think that's something else that, and we're kind of getting off of marketing here, I think, but I think that when somebody starts off in business, you need to figure out how to widen the people who are doing business with you. So like instead of just focusing like strictly on weddings, you're relying on people to get married.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And like honestly, in this day and age, less people are getting married because, you know, culture.
Yeah.
So, and they're getting married later. So you got to look at that. But like, do you just want to be a wedding photographer, or do you want to be able to cater to everybody? Like high school graduation pictures, senior pictures, family pictures, dog pictures. Like all of these things are ways that you can make a quick buck in between these big functions that you're doing.
I see. I never thought about stuff like that. Like, you know, I like doing family pictures, couple pictures, engagement sessions. You know, I took Paula's family pictures. Did Beth's engagement pictures, and they look really good. I haven't marketed them though, and I'm pretty sure if I did, you know, that's another source of revenue. And then, yeah.
So
I guess my marketing is mainly focused on weddings, though. Yeah, I probably need to get out of that.
Spread it up. Just
not get
add
out
to
of
it.
it, just expand.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do think, you know, what you were saying does fall into the category of, you know, like a business strategy. Has there been a business strategy that you've seen that kind of like stuck with you? Like my mind immediately goes to like commercials and stuff. But have you seen like a business strategy that like resonated with you, or you saw it and it made you think, I want to buy that product, or I want to, you know, become a part of that?
TikTok for me. It's TikTok, Instagram Reels, any short content where somebody is literally just like taking their finger and swiping for an hour back to back, looking at this wide variety of videos. Being able to put that video content slap dab in the middle of it with something that catches your eye and is interesting. I have bought so much stupid off of seeing an ad on TikTok or Instagram, or like not even just an ad, but just like paying a influencer to use your product and put. I have so much stuff that I've literally just given away to Goodwill because I'm like, oh God, why do I even need this? You know what I mean? So that 1000%, if you have a good product or service, being able to get in front of people consistently on social media, yes.
Yeah, so it's like what we talked about when we were talking about social media, you know, short form content, people's attention spans are short. Like there's so many restaurants that I want to try just because I've seen it on like TikTok.
Yes.
Or like, you know, y'all know Robert, you might know Keith Lee. You might know Keith Lee too. You know who Keith
I know
Lee
that
is?
name.
Keith Lee. Okay, so he's like he tests out food, right? And then, you know, he reacts to the food or whatever. Anyways, so there's a lot of restaurants that have like just gotten a bunch of like traction just because he went there and tried their food. And that's like a type of marketing, you know, through TikTok, through an influencer.
Yes.
So
I'm with you on the TikTok ads though, because I caught myself about to buy something stupid not too long ago.
Yeah.
I keep coming across these ads and they advertise like the dumbest things, but they make it seem like, you know, this is missing out of your life.
You
need
have to
this.
have
it. I almost bought a cup holder for my car. And the way they advertised it was this girl that got in her car and like she couldn't find anywhere to put like her tumbler. So she tried to drive with it sitting on the dash.
Okay.
And it just kept spilling everywhere.
Right.
And I don't know why that
Is that a
caught my
problem
attention.
that you have?
No. No, I have 8 cup holders in my car. I don't need any more.
You want to know what it was for me, Robert?
What's that?
Amazon. Amazon got me. I'm not sure how we ended up here, but there was a top that you put on top of a 5-gallon bucket, and it had this little like trap door, right? And you put peanut butter on the trap door.
I've seen that.
And it has a ramp that goes down to the ground. So you have to buy a bucket on top of this, right? This is just the top and the ramp. But it's a mouse trap, right?
I've seen that.
So you put the little peanut butter up there, the mouse goes in, boom, he goes in the trap door, and then you can go relocate the mouse. I have not seen a mouse. And I don't even know how long, 10 years or more, right? But my initial thought when I saw this was like, this is so cool. I have to have it. I'm going to set it out in the middle of our field.
You
And I'm
never
going to
know
catch
when-
mice.
You never
And
know when the mouse is
the
going to
only
come
thing
up.
that stopped me was like, I didn't want there to be a snake in there when I went to open it up. Because I'm like, if there's a big bucket of mice, there's going to be a snake to follow it. Why did I feel the need to do that? It's marketing.
I've seen that before, and I thought that was cool, but then I'm like, someone's going to have to dump this bucket out, and I don't want to have to deal with this live mouse in there.
Yeah.
But has there been like a commercial or something that stuck with you? Like I have one in my mind that for some reason is like permanently etched in my brain. I saw it.
Is it a Super Bowl commercial?
It is the Super Bowl commercial.
Okay.
It's a Pepsi commercial from, I think it might have been before Seth was born. Good Lord. I think it was like 99 or 2000.
Wow.
Okay.
It was a Britney Spears commercial.
Okay.
And like in it,
We know why that one's
Well-
stuck.
well, here's the thing. Like, you know, Pepsi, part of their branding is like always geared towards like the younger generation. And at the time, their slogan was, you're in the Pepsi generation. That's what it was. And like in the commercial, it started out with like her singing like the 50s, and then it switched to the 60s and 70s and went throughout all these decades.
Okay.
And the song just like stuck in my head. And it has become like one of my favorite commercials ever. I don't know why.
Okay.
It just has. But has there been a commercial that just kind of got stuck in your head, like the doggone head-on commercials?
Honestly, not one that I can think of right off the top of my head. I've had DVR for a long time, so I can't think of any commercial that's really stuck. And I also think that because, you know, I watch streaming and I watch, you know, my phone a lot, I think just because everything is such like short form content where you're just constantly consuming stuff, it all starts to run together for me. It's like an instant, ooh, that's nice, and then I'm onto something else.
Mm-hmm.
Seth, what about you? What's been like one of your favorite commercials?
So, as someone that like wants to work in like the film industry, eventually, I feel like I should know a commercial, but like it's like Chrissy said, you know, stuff like using streaming services, you don't really see that many commercials now. Like,
I just looked up best commercials of all time, and I might have one.
What's that?
The Eminem commercial with Santa, where they're like, "He does exist."
Oh, yeah,
and Santa's
yeah.
like, "They do exist," and they all like trip out. Okay, that one kind of stuck. I read it and I was like, "Ooh, I've seen that one."
I remember back in the day, not back in the day, a couple years ago, the State Farm commercials where he was like, you almost had it, you know.
You gotta be quicker than that.
State Farm, wasn't it? Yeah, you gotta be quicker
Gotta
than
be
that.
quick. Yeah.
That goes back to a couple weeks ago when we were talking about social media starting like a trend, because that became such a big
Yeah.
meme. Like,
Or like, "Can you hear me now?" from
Oh
Verizon.
God.
Mhm.
so,
That's the
That's
best
one
marketing,
commercial.
when you can like imprint your brand into
Mhm.
somebody's brain to where they're like referencing it and spreading the word for you.
Mhm.
Like,
or Jake from State Farm.
yes.
You know?
There we go. Look at you.
That AT&T lady, you know, she has commercials for like LeBron now, stuff like that.
The progressive lady.
Yeah, that's what I was about to
Progressive
say.
lady
Like,
Flo.
like the AT&T lady is cool, but Flo from Progressive is the one.
the
that
Geico
Shout out
Gecko,
to all
like-
these companies for making these awesome commercials.
What else is so I can't pick like a single commercial that like sticks out the most, but like they putting themselves out there so much
Yeah.
that I can think of a few, you know.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is the Skittles commercial with the yodeling rabbit.
I don't guess I've seen that.
This guy had a yodeling rabbit, and he traded it for a bag of Skittles, and like the rabbit would not stop yodeling, like legit all night, the worst yodeling you could hear.
Okay.
And then he regretted his option because he went back to the house where the rabbit came from and saw the dude sitting like in his living room enjoying the Skittles while he was just stuck with this screaming rabbit all night. It's a lot funnier than I just described it, but yeah, I made that sound real dry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, like
we should. I don't feel like we have a reason to have an ad, but we should make an ad, like just for the fun of it.
I mean, everybody has a reason to make an ad, though. You just got to get it in front of the right people. Like
True.
Exactly.
us, like buying a Super Bowl slot, probably not going to be that effective. You know what I mean? Even though our clients are probably watching the Super Bowl, the cost of that slot is far going to outweigh the result. So I think that that's one thing in marketing that you really have to figure out what it is you're getting from that marketing. Like you have to be able to measure it. So for us, a billboard would not make sense. Like you can't measure how many people that billboard is getting you. On top of the fact that our clients are nationwide. So having a billboard in Valdosta would probably be a waste of money. So you have to kind of say like, what does my client look like? Where are they at? What are they doing? And then start off small. So like if you start running a Facebook ad, to begin with, you're not going to necessarily get a result from it just because you're just getting started. You want to give yourself at least a couple months without stopping. So you want to have a couple months of budget set aside, whatever that budget may be, and you can literally like pay $500 or something over the course of the 3 months. It doesn't have to be something huge, but work on narrowing down your target audience to where you find something that hits. So don't try to run that same target audience the whole time. Like maybe break it up into a couple different ads to a couple different audiences and see which one works the best. And then, take that and break it off into a couple and play with it. But then like as you find something that is effective, you want to double down on it. And this is where a lot of people mess up. They look at that amount that they spent to get that customer as an expense instead of an investment. So if I'm looking at something as an expense, that means it's costing me money. If I look at something as an investment, I am spending money to make money. So whatever I make in return should outweigh what I spend. So if I spend $500 and I get 3 customers out of that, and those 3 customers make me $1,500, I've 3x'd my marketing budget. Don't stop that. Like, first off, it's a numbers game. If $500 gets me $1,500, $1,000 will get me $3,000, and $2,000 will get me $6,000. So I'm going to double down on what's working, but I'm never going to double down on something that is not effective. So that's kind of the key with marketing. You want to figure out what is effective and you want to duplicate it.
So I was kind of hesitant about asking this question because I didn't want it to go like into left field or anything like that.
We'll keep it in right field.
Do you believe that like cultural differences can play a factor in like the marketing messages or strategies?
1,000%. Yes. People want to do business with people that they can relate to and people that they trust and people that they have some sort of relationship with, or companies that they have some sort of relationship with. I feel like if you are out here offending people with your message, then you're going to limit who you can do business with. So, as a company, I have my own personal beliefs, but I'm not going to go out here like making content from the business that has to do with my political views, because that chops off half of the people that want to do business with me. They're going to disagree with me right off the rip, and then they're going to go somewhere else to somebody that they can't agree with. So you want to make sure that you keep things like religion and politics and obviously racial stuff and whatever all the protected classes, avoid that. You know what I mean? Because it's irrelevant to business. In business, you have a service or a product. You want to get that out there into the marketplace because it benefits people. Their views, your views, it doesn't matter. So yes, you want to make sure, I wouldn't go try to market, solar panels to a place that it's dark more than 20 hours a day. You know what I mean? Like, you want to make sure wherever somebody is located and what the general idea is in that area, you want to make sure you're going along with that, not against it.
And see, like, when I saw that question, like, of course, my first thought went to, like, ethnic, like, cultural differences and stuff like that. But then I was also reminded of, like, income cultures.
Yes.
And the fact that, like, for example, Lamborghini is not marketing to me.
No.
Because I'm not about to buy a Lamborghini anytime soon.
That's why they don't make commercials.
Exactly. Like, it was years before I had ever seen.
They're not watching TV.
Like, I've never seen a Bentley commercial or a Rolls Royce commercial or anything like that. I've just now started to see Mercedes commercials. Mm-hmm. But that's where my mind went. Like, we just have to keep in mind who you are marketing to.
Yes.
Like, if I want the more upper echelon people to buy my product, I'm not going to just market it to the whole world.
Right.
Like, I'm going to market it to the folks that the target is for, if that makes sense.
Yes.
I feel like I worded that in such a weird way.
Yeah.
But when I saw it, also my mind went to McDonald's. It was a McDonald's commercial some years ago.
Okay.
And what they did was, I think it's important that if you do decide to, market towards specific, ethnic groups and things like that, it is important that, stereotypes don't go into play.
Right.
Because that is a very quick way to offend some people. But McDonald's did something that I thought was kind of interesting.
Okay.
They had a commercial that was going. And of course, they put it on certain networks and certain stations and stuff like that. They basically, like, put out a music video, and it was like an R&B video.
Okay.
And you know what commercial I'm talking about, Seth?
I feel like I do, but finish it, and I'll tell you if I do.
No, I was just saying, like, it was interesting because they did it in a way where it wasn't offensive.
Okay.
And, like, it did cater to those, like, in the African American community, because that stupid song is stuck in my head. Because this guy singing to his girl about chicken nuggets because she went to McDonald's without him.
Okay.
And I just thought that they handled that one pretty well.
Yeah.
Like, it catered to it reached the market that it needed to reach, but it didn't fulfill stereotypes or anything like that.
I'm glad you just brought up McDonald's, right? Because this goes back to what we were talking about with short form content, like TikTok and stuff. So you remember Burger King? They had the Spider-Verse burger, right?
Mm-hmm.
It had the red patty. People were eating it. They'd make a TikTok, act like it, like like it did something to them. Because who eats a burger with a red patty? So McDonald's had characters back before I was born, and probably a little bit after I was born. They got Ronald McDonald. They had his friends.
Grimace.
They got the Grimace milkshake. I get on TikTok yesterday, right? And these people that I follow, they'll, like, stand out in the middle of somewhere and have a, like, paper on their chest that says do so and so and get, like, $100 or get an iPhone or something like that. So they had one that was like, bring us a Grimace shake, you'll get $100. Someone goes and gets them a Grimace shake, brings it back to them. They get on the money, but then it, like, cuts to, like, they're on the ground, everything's on fire.
Seen those.
So I was like, what is a Grimace shake? So I look it up. It's a milkshake from McDonald's. It's purple. Everyone's doing the trend similar to the Burger King burger. It's like a unintentional trend that they started, and now people are just gonna go buy the milkshake just to make these videos. And might not even finish the drink because they're using it in the video to like spill it everywhere and stuff like that. So
Do you feel like that was really unintentional though?
I feel like that's not what they expected to happen with it, but at the same time, maybe they did. Maybe it was intentional.
Yeah.
When you said Burger King, I thought you were about to mention the commercial Burger King got in trouble for a few years ago.
No, I was talking about the little trend on TikTok
Oh,
that
because
I saw yesterday.
a few years ago, Burger King did the opposite of what McDonald's did, and they had they had Mary J. Blige singing about chicken in their restaurant. But I'm not gonna lie, that song it's a bop. I have that song on my phone. But yeah, they took that and it went the wrong way. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But that's where I just thought that's where you were going.
My mom just got on the, like, you brought up McDonald's and I was like, oh, McDonald's, they're kind of trending right now on TikTok marketing, you know, the Grimace shake. I kind of want to go try one, but you know.
So it was like Burger King put red food coloring in their food, and McDonald's was like, I'm gonna match you and put purple in there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's put all the unhealthy dyes into the normal food.
Let's make pretty
That's
patties like on SpongeBob. That's low key what Burger King did. They made pretty patties.
Yeah.
So speaking of things that don't work or things that go wrong, what are some strategies that you have seen that was not the greatest of ideas?
Okay. Yeah, I get these all the time. Random, irrelevant emails. So when you are sending out, and we send out blast emails, okay, to our target audience, who are all dealerships, who all, you know, work at in a decision making role. So some of those people aren't expecting that email, but it's relevant to them.
Mm.
So these companies that go out, and I don't know if they buy lists or maybe they just like, you know, you put your information in for one thing and then here they are making a list for another. I don't know how they get the email. I don't know if maybe they just search like car dealerships and here we are popping up in that mix and they're like, oh, this is a car dealer, without doing their research. But I literally get emails probably twice a day from just random dealership related services. So like they want me to update our security system to keep cars from being stolen, or, you know, buy parts from them. So it's like, if you are going to use email or phone calls or, you know, direct message or text messages, don't just buy a random list.
Mm-hmm.
Like make your own, do the legwork, get the list narrowed down. So like when we send out a blast email of any sort, we're making money off of it because those people are our target audience. But if we were to go send an email of the same sort to, like, I don't know, hairdressers, obviously it wouldn't benefit us. So don't turn people off by going to the wrong people. Because, like, okay, those people that are messaging me, if they were like, hey, we see that you're in the car industry and you work with dealerships, let's partner and you can help us and we can help you by sending our clients to you and your clients to us. That would be an effective strategy. But trying to sell me your service, I would never do business with somebody like that, even if they did want to collab, because you've already set the tone for our relationship.
Didn't you say that there was one time you were riding in a car and you had someone kind of cold call you, and like their strategy on the phone call didn't quite work because they were trying to, like, they asked you like how your day was going or something like that?
Oh God. Yeah. Okay. For everybody out there who makes phone calls, and I feel like cold calls are extremely ineffective. I feel like all calls should be warm calls. I feel like the person whose day you're interrupting should have heard about you or from you before in some fashion. an actual cold call where you are literally calling a random person from a random list and they have no idea that the call is coming and you're just interrupting their day, do not start that conversation off with, how are you? Like, get out of here. What a terrible way to start a phone call. I know that you don't care how I'm doing. Maybe I'm having a bad day. And now you just reminded me that I'm having a bad day, right? Or maybe I'm thinking to myself, like, I'd be better if you weren't calling me, which is probably going to come out of my mouth, right? Because you're a random person. I have no connection to you. I can be rude to you because I don't care about you. So yeah, if you're calling people, warm the call up, set an appointment if you need to. Make sure whoever you're calling, you got to catch their attention in like 4 seconds. Like if you haven't caught their attention in 4 seconds, they're going to get off the phone with you. All of our new reps that start off in our business, at this point, we're established, like dealers kind of know who we are. So I wouldn't even say that they're having a cold call at this point, but even if we call it cold calling, because they've never called those people before, I think that the way that we kind of go about it is like, don't ask them how they're doing. Don't ask them what's up. Don't ask them how the weather is. Like, none of that stuff is relevant. You start the conversation off by introducing yourself and what you're there to do. Like, hey, my name is Chrissy. I'm with Advanced Auto Transfers. I'm going to move your thing today. I'm going to sell you this today. Like, set your intention. And if that doesn't catch their attention, then you're going to politely get off the phone instead of being told to F off.
Do you think that still applies, even if you have like somewhat of a, I don't want to say a relationship with the person on the phone, but like there's a little bit of history there,
Yes.
like you've worked with them before?
Yes. I know that anybody I do business with, they don't care about me personally. They just don't. Like, we didn't start, that's not why we even talk to each other. We would not be talking to each other if money wasn't being transacted. Like, if I couldn't provide that service to that person anymore, unless there's something weird going on behind the scenes, like, they're not going to call me. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, I just, as a general rule of thumb, even, you know, clients that I've had relationships with for over a decade at this point, we don't care about the weather in each other's state. We're not there. You know, I'm not going to be like, how are you? Because you don't care. They don't care to tell you.
It's like you're not friends, you're business associates.
Get to the point. Yeah, get to the point.
Yeah, for the record, I care about everybody here. Just throwing that out there. So corporate identity is, of course, important for business and as an entrepreneur. So what advice do you have for someone or a brand that's looking to improve or like redefine their identity?
Yeah, I think that in this day and age, there are a million ways for people to look you up. And like I said to Seth earlier, you want your client to be well educated on who you are and what you do long before you ever have that initial interaction. So I think it's important for you to have a website first and foremost. Any company who does not have a website at this point in the world should just close down, because that's where you're headed anyway. So if people can't look you up, you shouldn't. So you should have a logo. Everything should look nice and like aesthetic. You should definitely have social media. Even if you're not super active on it, you should at least have something going on once a week. Because if I go to somebody's Facebook page and they haven't posted since March of 2021, I'll be like, oh, they're not, you know,
I'm going to assume they're out of business.
Here. Yeah. Like, even if they are at the business, they're not focused on getting new clients, which is going to make me go somewhere else. So you want to make sure that you have, like, you're everywhere. That's essentially what I guess I'm trying to say. You want to be everywhere. You want to be on the internet. You want to be on social media. You want to be, active in the community. You want to have all these things going on so that you don't have to explain to people why they should do business with you. They can just go find out that information themselves.
I think that would make like a good episode, because with corporate identity, I believe that even the minute details matter, like the color of your logo, the shape, and like everything that you do with that matters. Yeah. So I think that would be a good episode.
And your follow-up, like, you should, if a customer reaches out to you, you shouldn't just be out here saying whatever. You should like what you say to the customer and how you interact with them should align with your corporate identity and what you have going on elsewhere. So yes, I love that. Let's do a whole episode just on that.
So Seth, what's been your takeaway from this week's episode?
So my takeaway is when, we were talking about, how it's running ads on Facebook. I don't have to run an ad for one specific area. Like, I can make multiple different ads for that one. I don't know how to explain it. You get what I'm saying?
Diversify.
Diversify. That's the word I had in my head, but I was like, but diversify the way I run ads. Don't just run ads for weddings. I can do it for like engagement pictures, graduation pictures, other stuff like that. When I run ads for weddings, I can diversify how I run that ad. It doesn't just have to be women in Georgia from ages 22 to 40. It can be, a different group of people that I run ads for.
I think that's similar to my takeaway. When it comes to marketing and putting your business out there, know who you're talking to. Like, know the group that you are aiming for, because if you aim for everybody, you'll hit anybody.
Right.
And you don't want to hit just anybody.
Yeah.
So, like, Chrissy, what's your final thought from this episode? That sounds like a quote from Jerry Springer. What's your final thought?
Final thought. I just think that everybody who is in business, you have to figure out who your target audience is, not your Facebook target audience, but who are you actually trying to sell to, and work backwards. Figure out who that person is, what do they do, and then where are they at, what are they doing, like where are they at during certain times of the day, and what media are they consuming, so that you can be in those places. And then also, and I want to just stress this again, if what you're doing is working, don't stop doing it. Keep putting the money in. Do not look at marketing as an expense unless it's actually an expense. So if you're putting money into something that is not benefiting you and your business, meaning that you're not making money from it, stop doing that. But if it is, if you are generating revenue at a higher rate than you are spending it on marketing, double down on it. Don't stop it. Because I think that when you figure out how to market effectively, you can grow exponentially over time. And that, I think, a lot of people confuse at this point, especially with social media. Everybody wants to market themselves, but marketing is no good unless you're generating revenue from it. So the end game is always to make money off of whatever it is that you're doing. So while marketing is important, the rest of it needs to be in place so that you can keep marketing.
And speaking of good marketing, visit us at autotransfers.com to see exactly what we can do for you and your dealership over here at AAT. And visit us on all of our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. We are on all those platforms. Just simply search Advanced Auto Transfers and visit us on YouTube at AAT TV. Thank you guys so much for watching. Wow. Thank you guys so much for listening. And we will catch you next week. I'm Robert Carton Jr.
I'm Chrissy Brinson.
And I'm Seth Sheely.
Bye.
Awkward.
Just a little bit.